Hello, today we are off to somewhere a little bit closer to home. We are going to Simpsons Falls on Mount Coot-tha. Yes, that's the one. On Mount Coo-tha, but we're going via the Powerful Owl Track, I think it's called. It's close to home. It's only about 20-ish minutes away from where we live at Forest Lake.
So, and I have a fact. I have a fact about Mt Coot-tha.
Mount Coo-tha.
So Mt Coot-tha is both a mountain and a suburb of Brisbane. And Mt Coot-tha as a suburb has a population of, would you like to guess? Give a guess.
2,000.
0.
Oh.
It has a population of 0. There you go. Wow. It is actually a suburb and it has no population.
There you go. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I wonder if there are any other suburbs that have got 0 population.
Yeah, we'll have to look
we'll
into
visit
that.
all the suburbs where nobody lives. All right, off we go then.
See you there. We've arrived at Mt Coot-tha. This is the highest point in the Brisbane Greater region. And Mt Coot-tha was the home of the Yugara Aboriginal people, and they used to come here to collect what was called Coota, which means honey. And it was because those people used to, those Aboriginal tribes would collect honey from here. That's what it was famous for. And if we just look around this way, we can see that we still look after the bees here.
Be caring.
We will. But I'll just tell you as well that the bees here, the native bees here, are non-stinging bees. So if you're going to be a beekeeper, that's the perfect bee to keep.
We stopped for some lunch at the Hoop Pine picnic area, and there's a map behind us. You can see this, which shows all the tracks on the on Mt Coot-tha, and there are 71 different trails. So what we're planning on doing today, we are going to start here, which is just up the road. We're going to head down here, which is the Powerful Owl Trail, and around here, and then up to the Simpsons Falls and picnic area. We'll probably stop for a little bit of a refreshment there before heading back to the car, which I think is all up about 5.5 kilometers. This is where we're going to start the trail. We're going to do the Powerful Owl Trail.
I'll just let you know that the powerful owl is the biggest owl on the continent. It is a bird of prey and it likes to munch on little mammals.
Oh, maybe we'll see one.
So maybe we'll see one. Off we go to the trail.
So straight out of the car park, the trail splits to the right and to the left, and the right takes you down to the falls, I think, but the left one is where we're going because that's the Powerful Owl Track. And yeah, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a trek uphill there. Okay.
The other walks we've been on have been in forest areas, very wet, very moist. This particular mountain with this forest, this woods, is very dry. And I'll just show you behind me here. You can see a trail of very, very dry old dead wood. So it is prone to getting bushfires, and they do have to, what do they call it? Backfires? Back burning. And that's what is deliberately done to kill off some of this dead wood. It's controlled fires to stop the bushfires from getting out of control. Oh, Robert, look at this. It looks like one of those dinosaurs, you know, with the hoods that come over. See, you've got a mouth and you've got an eye and you've got like a little horn on its front nose.
It does.
Yeah. They're like little sculptures by the dead trees that have been left for us. Wow.
Actually, talking of dead trees, that looks like that one has been burnt, like you were talking about.
Yes.
It's got a bit of scarring on it.
Yeah.
We're not far out of the car park, but this is the road rises, or the track rises pretty steeply. It's not hard, but it is quite steep, and there are little ridges. I'm not sure whether we can see that from here. Maybe not. But yeah, Alison thinks that they are possibly, because this is also used as a mountain bike track, which it is quite steep. Coming down on mountain bikes would be
But
fun.
it undulates, so it does this, and yet the landscape by the side of it is just dead straight. It just goes up on both sides. And it's been deliberately cleared by some sort of some machinery.
Yes.
So I think it's been deliberately done like this for the mountain bike trail.
Be interesting.
It's one of the first trails we've seen that actually has a mountain bike symbol on it.
Perhaps we should bring the mountain bikes down here. Coming down would be fun. I don't know about going up.
You can drop me off at the top and I'll just free roll all the way down. That sounds like a plan.
There's certainly some interesting tracks here if you're a mountain biker, that's for sure. So if you came down here, this road here, a little bit too fast, and took a bit of air on that bump there, you'd be off into the trees. Make sure you turn left there.
Can I show you where we're going?
Yes.
So, had your camera all the way up there. That's where I can see the track winding. So that is about that steep.
No.
And that's yes.
No. How steep?
At least that's steep.
Put your arm against that.
Well, there you go. There you go. How about that?
Yeah.
That?
Okay.
Can
That's
you,
closer.
Is it there?
That's nearer. That's nearer.
Pretty steep.
That was almost vertical. You had it pointed.
I've seen quite a few butterflies, but I'm just not quick enough to capture them. So what we've discovered is that there is actually a quarry at Mt Coot-tha, which we didn't know about, and it's been serving Brisbane since about, well, for 100 years, since the 1920s, and it's very, very hard. So Robert was right in as much as it was a very hard rock that it looked like to him. Very hard rock, and it's used for a lot of the buildings in the city, and mainly for the roads that have been laid. They crush it up and use it as aggregate in the roads. And there you go, it's still in existence. Yeah.
Well, that was a little bit break. Now we've just got a little bit more of a hill to climb.
A little bit more of a hill.
One thing that I did notice, or rather didn't notice, I guess, when we started this walk, is there were no signs saying beware alligators, crocodiles, suction pipes, beware of falling off cliffs, explosions, killer bees, stinging trees, homicidal figs. Yeah.
There was a warning sign and Robert missed it, and it did say beware of bushfires.
Beware of bushfires.
Bushfires. So we have added another beware sign.
They tend not to sneak up on you or take you by surprise, do they? Right?
On our list we have another
Beware
danger
of bushfires.
sign.
Absolutely right. Bushfires can be very dangerous. We shouldn't make fun of it, but
It's the smoke.
Yeah.
That gets you, and they do sneak up behind you because they
they go faster than you. Absolutely, they can move faster than you can.
around.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yes.
There you go. Okay. I think we must be nearing the top because I've used my skills of deduction to see if there are any trees that go higher from what I can see, and they don't. So I think it must level out. Here's hoping, because this has been a pretty hard trek.
Bushwalker extraordinaire. Just as you predicted. It has levelled off.
Yay! Yay!
Take it easy now.
A little bit easier, yes.
Now we can hear the birds. I think there may be cockatoos, the big white ones. Alison says she thinks she just saw some through the trees. So hopefully a little bit further up here, we're close now because they're stopped now, but they're quite loud. Hopefully as we get closer up we may be able to catch a glimpse of them, because they are beautiful birds, those big white cockatoos. And oh, I don't know whether you can see him. I'll see if I can go down this track a little bit and hopefully not disturb him. Or her.
Oh, it's a mating call, definitely, on the display.
Yeah? I don't think I can get too much closer without disturbing it. Beautiful. We've come to a junction in the road, so we're on the Powerful Owl Trail. We've come from the Silky Oak car park, 1.21 metres, 1210 metres. Channel 9 and Samuel Griffith Drive down this way, 1.59, 1.6 metres, kilometres, sorry. And this track goes to, this is the Pinnacle Trail, goes down to JC Slaughter Falls car park and the Hoop Pine car park, which is where we had our lunch. Now I have a feeling that we need to take the Channel 9 Sir Samuel Griffith Drive. But Alison's just looking at the map to see which way to go to get to the Simpson Falls.
So I've looked on the map and we go down here, Channel 9 Trail. This way.
And it looks like it's downhill.
It does look like it's downhill.
What we did was we took a picture of the map on the board before we came. So that's been a great help, because to be honest, I wasn't really sure which way we were supposed to go there, but the map was quite clear on it. But as we've come over that rise, we've got a downhill, which is as steep as the bit we came up. So it doesn't really matter which way you come on this walk, I think. You're going to end up climbing up a big hill. And if you do it on a mountain bike, although the downhill will be a bit fun, I reckon the uphill would be hard pedalling. So if we look at this one downhill, again we've got the same bumps. You could do a few jumps there.
Yeah, absolutely.
This area is closed for revegetation, so there must be growing some more trees or something here.
Well, let me tell you, yes, another interesting fact. They are planting 2 million trees as part of a project for the revegetation along here. Now, I must also tell you that Mt Coot-tha used to be called One Tree Mountain, or One Tree Hill, I think it was called. And that was because back in 1839, a surveyor called James Warren and his team completely stripped all the trees from the top of Mt Coot-tha, and they left one tree, a giant eucalyptus tree. And this is a great story for all mathematicians out there, but as well, why they don't teach you things like this in school, which would make maths a lot easier, is that they use the one tree as a trigonometry reference point because this is the highest point in Brisbane and the suburbs. So they use that as trigonometry point to then survey the whole of Greater Brisbane and Brisbane for planning the city. I just thought that was mind-blowing.
Wow.
To think that's what they did back over, what's that, 200 years ago now? Yeah, 200 years ago.
18 what?
1839.
It's getting close, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how they then planned out the city. And then I think it was 50 years later they decided to go back to naming it after the Aboriginal, and they called it Mt Coot-tha, which is Mount Honey. And there you go. But now they're replanting 2 million trees here.
And the track goes up again. We thought we got over this, but the write-ups did say it's uphill for the first 2 kilometres, and we're just coming up to 2 kilometres now, so this should be getting nearer the top. As we've been walking along, we've come across quite a few cockatoos, and so having not seen any or anything really on the first part of this walk, they seem to be all over the place, but they're very shy, because every time we try to take a photograph of or a video of them, they fly off. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get close to one at some stage and get a nice video of them.
They do sound like ancient, is it pterodactyls that fly?
The dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs. That's what they sound like. Hopefully Robert has captured some of the sound of them. Really, really loud, and that's what you do expect to see circling ahead. And then you see this beautiful white bird with sort of yellow plumage on their head. Absolutely just beautiful. Beautiful plumage. With this horrible, horrible sound that comes from them. So hopefully we at least get the sound for you.
We'll see.
You're slacking.
No, just waiting for you. I've been here 15 minutes.
We've got another way to go.
Yes, 2.25 kilometres down. I think this is about 5.5, so we're not quite at halfway yet. Okay, top of the hill. There's signposts everywhere. It's like a busy main road. Let's have a look what we've got. So where we've just come from, the Powerful Owl Trail, Silky Oak Picnic Area 2.2, which is what we said, it's about how far we've gone. Power to Powerful Channel 9, half a kilometre down this. Yeah, I don't think that's not on the agenda for today. The Ghost Hole Track. Oh, now 200 metres return to the mine shaft, and the gold mine picnic area is 520 metres. How far are the falls?
1.1 kilometres.
Do we take a quick detour to the mine shaft?
200 metres.
200 metres return?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go and have a look and see what the mine shaft's about.
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds good.
Down this way.
So, about 20 steps in to the 200 metre walk to the mine shaft, there is a fork in the road and a fork in the path, and actually on one of the signs, although Robert said we didn't have warning signs and we said there was a bush fire warning sign, there was also a warning sign from the council that said people had put fake trails on these walks in these mountains, believe it or not, and they had put council signs up that weren't official council signs but looked very like official signs. We could not figure out why anybody would do that, but we've come to this fork in the path and we don't know which one to take now to get us to the mine. So you take the high road and I'll take the low road, or let's just look over this one because we can't see where this goes.
Okay.
So,
well, we couldn't see anything down the right hand track, and I've come down about 150 metres down the left hand track, and I can't find a mine shaft. We looked on the map, and the map said that there was a gold mine picnic area, so it looks like it was a genuine sign. Just can't find the mine shaft, so we might just head straight back up to the crossroads and down to the falls. So we're back at the crossroads now. Simpson Falls, 1.1 metres that way. Simpsons Falls picnic area, 1.7. We just bumped into a lovely lady who knows the way around here, so we asked her about the shaft, and it was down the right hand path. By all accounts, it's a hole in front of a bench. She says everything's wildly exaggerated around here, and the falls, don't expect too much. It's some water on a rock. So we will, we'll see.
I'm so parched, my mouth is sticking together. We need to stop and find
We'll
somewhere
find
to
somewhere to stop down and have a drink.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll carry on. She reckons it's about 4 kilometres back to the car park.
She was a character.
Yeah, she might be exaggerating too. I don't know. We'll carry on. Now, she also said that there's not too much wildlife around either, so maybe the birds, the cockatoos, are the best that we can expect. However, we have come across a hole in a tree, so making our own entertainment.
I've been told I have to put my head through. Oh my goodness. Making our own entertainment.
All right.
There we go. So when I was just posing for that, I had my head stuck through here. You'll have to come round. You have to come round to the side. I had my head stuck through with my bottom behind, and a guy comes walking up. A guy on a walk comes walking up. Catches me with my bum sticking out of a hole in a tree. It's hilarious. It would have to be me that gets caught.
Of course.
There we go. Let's carry on.
Walk on.
Walk on. We've been looking for the, what was the birds? Cockatoos. We've been looking for the cockatoos, and we can hear them everywhere, but they're really difficult to spot. And you would think in green woods, they would be very easy to spot. And what we've realised is that the trees here, the tops of the trees, because these trees don't have bark, they're very white. And that's where the birds sit, is obviously on the branches of the trees that are very white, and the birds are white, and that's why we can't see them. They're actually very well camouflaged, surprisingly, in somewhere that's so green. There you go, and that's why we can't see them. We had the luxury of steps a moment ago, and suddenly it's all gone to hell.
It is, it's all rocky,
and it's
isn't it?
Just,
It's a proper trail again.
it's completely not up to standard. It makes it a little bit more exciting though. You just have to watch your footing.
True. And it is going down, so you'll be happy about that.
Yay! Yes.
We have made the mistake in the past of thinking we were somewhere when we weren't. But we've just come across a bridge, and actually there's a seat there, we can get a drink. But there's and some water, and I think this is the falls, so we'll walk down and have a look. There is a bridge that goes across, which is the sensible way to do it. However, as there's not much water, it looks like you could possibly walk over and down there. So we might just have a look and see if we can do that. Now we all know that sometimes it's a bit dangerous when Alison and water come close to each other, so we'll see what happens today.
Especially because I want to get up close and take some slow-mo pictures, so...
Just don't get too close to the edge, because, to be honest with you...
Oh, look at that! It goes right over the edge.
That looks like a bit of an edge, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that. I'm going to take a picture of that. That looks spectacular.
It's very peaceful here. We can see just how big that drop is when we get up over the bridge. We've got down here onto the rocks, but there is no... Oh, there is actually a way over there, because there's some steps, I think, that we can
clearly
see.
That's the way people used to come down here.
But that's a little bit close to the edge to me, to be honest with you, I think.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit close to the edge for me. From the other side of the bridge, you can see it is actually quite a reasonably gentle slope. You'll go down it, but it's not a big drop to your death. I think the bit that we were looking at, which looked to be a big drop, was that bit there where the water is just trickling. And from the little pool area at the other side where we just were, we couldn't obviously see these sloping rocks, so it looked like just a drop. We've just left the falls now, and Simpson Falls picnic area is where we're heading next, which is 650 metres this way. From then we'll find our way back to the car park.
We have a Monte Carlo trackway here where it goes zigzag.
Is it hotel corner or something like that?
Yes.
They're almost it's like almost Aztec, Inca type.
Yes, it is. Yes. Now we're in our hiking gear. We're not hiking gear, but we are in our hiking shoes, and it's pretty rough.
Kathmandu,
even.
they've been great.
Yeah,
Love them.
It's pretty rough even now. We've just seen a guy with his dog, barefoot.
Barefoot.
The guy.
I didn't notice the feet. Barefoot.
He was barefoot. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and it's pretty hard going. So we're wimps.
Yep. We have actually just passed about half a dozen dogs in a very short sort of like 200 meters, coming up from the picnic area up to the falls, and some of them were coming the other way, and some of them were a bit wet. So I think possibly this is the time, late afternoon, that people bring their doggies out for a little bit of a swim in the pools, and it will be very nice. They seem to be enjoying themselves anyway. I'm actually quite surprised by this, and I'm not sure why, because, you know, we've been to Mt Coot-tha before, but it's just to the lookout and the restaurant, and I actually didn't realise there were this many trails around Mt Coot-tha, to be honest with you. I don't know why I'm surprised, but we've just never been here before, and I am. And out of the track, we pop into the picnic area. Simpsons Falls track.
Nice.
It is. There's looks like there's quite a few barbecues here. Not sure about the number of seats. There doesn't seem to be a huge number of seats, but
It goes right round.
oh, does it?
It goes right round the corner.
Oh,
And you
okay.
are by the creek here.
You are?
But the creek goes right round.
Yes. When you say the creek, it's a bit dry at the moment. I think it would need a bit more rain than we've had to become a creek. But I take your point. Also, well, I remember the lady said when we were at the top of the crossroads, she was saying, oh, it's just a bit of water on a rock, which I could sort of, yeah, it wasn't sort of like a cascading waterfall, but that was yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. It was very pleasant indeed, and I would probably call it a waterfall, not a Barren Falls or a Twin Falls, but it was worth the trek to see. Right, so from here then we have to find our way back to the car park, Silky Oak car park. So let's see if we can find a sign. I think there will be one because the track led from here to the car park, I believe.
Mt Coot-tha has its very own botanical gardens, and the botanical gardens were built to replace the ones in the city that we've already taken you around on one of our previous walks. And that was because the botanical gardens in the city were not able to expand. They were of limited space because obviously it's a city and we're taking up area on the coast, on the riverside rather. So they built botanical gardens here. Then they decided not to close the ones in the city, thank goodness, because they're beautiful. Now, in 2014, there was a plan we've already told you that the Mt Coot-tha is the highest point in Brisbane. In 2014, there was a plan to put a zip wire from the botanical gardens here on Mt Coot-tha all the way down to Brisbane City to the other botanical gardens. Now it's about 5 kilometres as the crow flies, and it would have been the biggest zip wire in the world. It was all authorised and it was agreed to go ahead. The council changed in 2017, and the new parliament there decided not to go.
Wasn't it the Lord Mayor?
The Lord Mayor. The Lord Mayor decided not to go ahead due to pressure from the general public. But we're in two minds. We think it would have been spectacular to be able to do that, but then we kind of think it might have.
It's a long walk back.
It's a long walk back, and it perhaps would have hindered some of the high-rise buildings that are in the city, which I know people don't like high rises, but it's a city after all, and it needs those structures. So,
and another thing, people who live in high rises don't like people zipping past their windows as they're having their breakfast.
So there's another interesting fact about Mt Coot-tha. We're just going to head back now to our car, and we'll give you a roundup of what we've thought of today.
All right, back at the car park now, and time to head home, and time for our roundup. So, okay, it wasn't the most scenic of walks we've done, I don't think. There weren't sort of like glimpses of the. There was one glimpse of the city, but there wasn't really glimpses of anything. There wasn't a great deal of water in the waterfall. There was a good incline to start with, so it gives you a good walk out, and it was a good length what we did as well. But to be honest with you, I actually found it quite enjoyable. I enjoyed that walk.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I was so surprised at all the little things that we found on the way. We had a lot of fun. It wasn't terribly busy. A lot of them are very busy. And yeah, we had a lot of fun today. And then we found different things as we went. The waterfalls were better than what we thought, the picnic areas. And
sometimes
it was
it's
hard going on some of it,
Yeah.
and for not very much to get to, but I've had a good day. I enjoyed it.
sometimes it's good to just get out and not have all the distractions, and you can just have a good old chat and a laugh, and you know.
And we did.
So,
That's what we found that we could do
so
today.
yeah, so look, it gets a thumbs up from me.
Gets a thumbs up from me.
And I think we'll come back and do some of the other trails around
Definitely.
Mount Coot-tha, see if we can find the gold mine.
Definitely come back.
Till next time.
Bye now. What am I supposed to do? But I can see the sun setting a little bit here. Don't forget, we are on a mountain. So if the sun goes behind the mountain, we are in the darkness, aren't we, on the other side of the mountain? So
You make it sound like the dark side of the moon. The temperature will drop to sub-zero and we will freeze from our feet down.
I've got that right though,
feet
haven't
down.
I?